we took a break, and now we're talking about how fucking stupid right wingers are, which is like, yeah, like exactly. You're getting, you're talking about.
Did your dad shed a tear for Rush Limbaugh?
No,
he got a little misty.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what my dad listens to for talk radio. I think my dad listened to Neil Bortz.
That guy was even worse.
He was way fucking worse. He made fucking Limbaugh look like a goddamn Girl Scout. I think I would actually rather listen to Alex Jones than Neil Bortz.
At least it's entertaining.
Thank you. At least it's fucking entertaining. Yeah. And he knows. He knows.
It's a shtick. Yeah, it's a shtick.
It's totally a shtick. I'm waiting for that guy to get a movie role.
Well, it wasn't a movie, but not the last season, but maybe it was the last season of Homeland, or maybe the one before. There was like a Alex Jones archetype character in that season.
Okay.
But I would say he was probably more serious than, like, they portrayed him more as like a true believer of the conspiracies, whereas with Alex Jones, I feel like a lot of it is just like a character,
Yeah, and I think I don't know, man. I just remember seeing when like in the aughts, I remember seeing InfoWars bumper stickers on like semis.
Well, that's the shit they were getting in Middle America, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, and I hate. Okay, and then that's another thing, man. Like
shitting on Middle America.
I hate shitting on Middle America. I understand, but motherfuckers in New York and LA have no idea what happens. I mean, I don't know. I've been through Middle America a lot, and there are a lot of it's so tempting to look at like, voting maps of the country and just assume like red state, blue state, red state, and it's like you do realize that there are plenty of blue voters in those states that you're shitting on.
There's plenty of red voters in blue states.
Exactly. It's like they're just not the majority. And,
I think California has something like 15 or 20 million Republicans, and they have no power because of...
Wasn't fucking Schwarzenegger a Republican? Wasn't that the deal?
But he was like a Rockefeller Republican, like a Bloomberg kind of Republican. Not like... This is another thing I try to like explain to some of my relatives that like come down here and visit, and they talk about politics. They assume that like a lot of the Republicans we get that run for office are like the Bloomberg types or the whatever. And it's like, no, man, we get these fucking like these dudes that have commercials of them in a pickup truck saying they're going to drive around and pick up the illegals. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of like messaging that we get because we're in the South.
Kemp, in my mind, Kemp was like, he's such a fucking Trump kiss ass.
I kind of have sympathy for Kemp. I feel like he tries, like he puts that sort of Trumpy or like really hard right messaging out, but I think from a governing standpoint, he's actually been pretty moderate.
I think maybe you're right, but I still voted for the nice black lady. The reason being...
The one that still hasn't conceded? But
all right. But to be fair, to be fair...
it's been like 5 years.
Yeah. To be fair, the issue was voter suppression. And everybody knew. She knew. She didn't not know that she wasn't going to lose. She knew. Mm-hmm. The issue was she wanted every vote counted. And for that,
So did Trump.
Yeah. No, and that's... Yeah, exactly. And that's all I'm saying is that's fair. That's fair when the issue is something like voter suppression, and when that's on the table. And not just that, who cares? Like, yeah, people voted. Why don't we go ahead and count them? Like, is there a rush?
Well, Trump also wanted us to find extra votes for him too. There's that whole thing.
God.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that because, nationally we've been in the news again because of this most recent bill.
Right.
And I'm interested to hear your take on it.
Oh, man. As usual, I can see both sides of the picture.
Yeah.
I can definitely see, the blue state, like, the more Stacey Abrams point of view, where it's like these laws are coming out. Like, these laws are not coming out to secure democracy. These laws are coming out because democracy happened.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that. And yeah, like, I understand it. I do understand it. At the same time, is it really so far-fetched? If the thing that keeps black people from voting is an ID, come on, guys.
Yeah. That's a shit excuse.
That's a terrible excuse.
Such a shit excuse.
Yeah.
In modern society.
Well, not just that. I was watching, like, a couple days ago, I was actually watching a YouTube video about a dude. I don't remember what the name of his channel was. It was some, like, Corey Crowder wannabe, or not Corey Crowder.
Steven Crowder?
Whoever the louder.
Dude, I muted his shit, years ago.
Whoever the louder with Crowder. The guy who sets up the Change My Mind table,
that
whatever his name is.
I saw a great video of a fucking union guy, like, just laying him out
the
other day.
Well, this kind of guy, it was this kind of, he had that kind of vibe.
But I'm talking about these, like, Chicago union fat fucks.
Oh, God.
Like, auto workers union types.
Yeah.
Which I'm not necessarily sympathetic to, but to see him, like, fucking right hook Steven Crowder was great. I'm sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, this kind of guy, like, that level of talking point, took a microphone to, like, down by the Georgia State Capitol, which is a very predominantly, like, that's like heart of Atlanta, like poor, excuse me, shouldn't have had carbonated beverage. Poor black community, Mitchell and Trinity, and down by all the courthouses and everything. And yeah, there are a lot of, 5 points, a lot of, I hesitate to say impoverished, but definitely not well-off African-American people. I was asking them, like, hey, do you have an ID? Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, here's my ID.
All of them.
They've got an ID. That's how you get fucking food stamps.
So, wow, I didn't know we just turned alt-right. Nah, that's not an alt-right thing. I've been hearing that kind of bullshit all my life.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's not you have to have an ID to get a lot of government assistance.
Well, so I can't speak to other states. I think other states that have voter ID laws, they might be a little bit more restrictive on how easy it is to get one. But in the state of Georgia, you can get a voter ID for free. And
right. I
think you can, at a minimum, all you have to show is, like, a utility bill with your name and address on it, and they'll give you an ID.
I think a lot of what this, to be fair, I think a lot of what this newer bill was focused on were things like absentee ballots.
Yeah, they did trim that down, which sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing bad in the bill. I just don't think it's this.
I don't think
massive. I think it'll maybe change at the margins, but it's not going to change, like, the broader electorate.
To me, if we're gonna truly talk about voter suppression, which I do think happens, this is fucking America. Let's not pretend voter suppression doesn't happen.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest issue with voter suppression is not voter laws and ID laws and things like that. To me, the biggest fucking issue with voter suppression is ding, 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 gerrymandering.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fucking districting. Let's talk about redistricting. Let's talk about how we group people that have less social mobility, that when they buy a home, they're staying in that home, or that home has been, like, grandfathered down. Whether we're talking about poor black people or poor white people that couldn't produce a deed to their home if they wanted to because it was left to them by, like, their parent or their grandparent. Mm-hmm. People that are not going to move, and like, that's their district. It's very easy to take people with no social mobility and district them in a way that totally takes away their voting power. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if we're going to talk about voter suppression, like, I don't think we need to talk about voting laws. I think we need to talk about districting because...
Well, that's why, I mentioned the example of California having that many Republicans and not having a real impact on national election is because of the gerrymandering by Dems. And it's the same thing in Georgia, because all the maps have been drawn by right-leaning judges. They're drawn to advantage Republicans. It's just, no one party has a monopoly on gerrymandering. It's just what party happens to be in power when it's time to draw the lines,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but Stacey Abrams should fucking concede. Have some fucking have some fucking dignity.